Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to today's webinar in the Noble series called Preparing Students for the Global Workplace. My name is Mary Reisner, coming to you from the Center for Latin American Studies at the University of Florida. And our guest today is Carolina Egúsquiza. I guess I've never even really said your full last name. I always just refer to you first name. And Carolina is joining us from Belgium, where she is working on her doctoral degree at the University of Antwerp, and where she also teaches classes. Her topic today is designing intercultural communication tasks for Business Spanish module. And I did, before I hand the microphone over to Carolina, I did want to put in a plug for we have one more webinar in April, and that will be about leadership in the classroom. And you can access that at the Noble website that I will put in the chat, nble.org. And I am going to go ahead and put Carolina's presentation up and hand her the microphone. And I thank her for joining us today. Share the progress of her research. Whoops. Wow. Okay, and you can control from the rest. Okay, John is back with us. Hello, John. And Annie arrived. Yay!
Annie and John. Okay, so let's start. Everyone, thanks for joining me. I will share my ongoing research with you, and the topic is designing intercultural communication for Business Spanish MOOC modules. Mary, you say I can control
from at the bottom. You just do next. The arrow at the very bottom of the page.
Yeah, I did. It just does. Well, now it did, but I have to do it many times.
Huh. Well, if it doesn't for you, I can do it. Great, John. Welcome.
Okay, so during this session, first the work that we have done for the project, and for the second part of the presentation, I'm going to share some opportunities of MOOCs for specialized language learning and intercultural communication, because I want you to take something practical with you after this presentation. Yeah, it's not going. I'm just using the arrows, but it's not.
Okay, all right, I just did it. Just tell me when you need, because you should be able to. That's weird. Huh.
Okay, so what was my motivation for this topic? Well, so students start taking Spanish in high school, in the last 2 years of high school, and this is actually their third foreign language, or sometimes their fourth in college. So there's a need right now to develop more online courses and also more blended courses for Spanish at the higher education level. And also because of my own experience as a teacher and of Spanish as a second language and professional and business Spanish, I saw that the textbooks had a really limited approach for culture and intercultural issues. And there have also been some publications that confirm this. And one researcher evaluated different manuals, different professional Spanish manuals. All of them were from Spain, and these are the usual manuals that we use here in Europe And for example, and it confirms what I said, that the approach to culture and the intercultural dimension was really limited. So a possible solution of the hypothesis for this project was to design online modules that integrate intercultural communication tasks, and this could be a valid addition for online or face-to-face courses. Mary, can you move to the next slide, please? And why did I decide to do a MOOC, actually? Well, I'm not going to explain too much about MOOCs. I'm just going to say, well, you may know these are massive open online courses. I'm just going to explain briefly about their classification. They have been classified depending on the dominant goal of the course. In this case, the goal can be networks, MOOCs. And in content-based MOOCs, these are content, the content is the primary goal. So these usually are based just video based, and then they have a test after the video. There has been a lot of criticism with this kind of MOOC, but on the other hand, a lot of participants from different countries in the world have said that they do appreciate this high quality content, which is open. And finally, task-based MOOCs. Here, the students have to complete some kind of task, activity, or work, sometimes individually or in groups. And community is also essential, but again, the primary goal is completing these tasks. And other things that attracted me about MOOCs is that they are flexible, anybody can take them. Their openness, this is actually something that keeps improving. A lot of the platforms are making now some sample modules that are open that you can see. And a lot of times when you take a course, the content will remain open. So it's not that it closes after the course. And modularity is also something really important. This reflects actually a new trend now, a new trend when in online learning. A lot of participants and users of MOOCs don't come in to actually take the course from beginning to end. They are interested in just one part, one section of the course, or on one module. Sometimes they just want to explore the content or get a taste of one of the units. So this is a different tendency now. And this is good about MOOCs, that sometimes you don't necessarily have to take them in order. And a lot of the courses say this in the objectives, that you can just mix and match basically the modules as you wish. And a meeting point, why did this? Because I feel like, well, we as language teachers try to encourage students to go abroad to study, and this is not always possible. At least here, there's more than 85% students that don't, they are not able to go abroad to study. So for us, it is important to create opportunities for students to have some kind of virtual mobility. And what this means, the students collaborate with other students or with other professionals online to complete work or to study. And this happens in an online environment. So I feel MOOCs are also a meeting point for students to come to one place and share knowledge and share ideas on different topics. Mary, can you go to the next? Yeah, and well, I won't explain too much about this graphic. This is just the director of my thesis is actually working on this educational engineering and distributed design model, which you may be familiar with the ADDIE instructional design model. So this is just a variation of that model. And this is what we are using right now to, well, the steps we're using to develop the course. And well, the background is actually Español para fines específicos, Español de los negocios, Business Spanish, Intercultural Communicative Competence, Instructional Design, e-learning and MOOCs, and also online communication and telecollaboration, which is another way to say online intercultural exchange. And the methodology that we'll be following for this study is we'll do needs analysis, and then we'll do interviews with professional students and some instructors. Then task design, the specification of the required functionalities in the platform. Then we'll do a comparison of MOOC platforms, and we'll select the most appropriate platform. And this will be based on the comparison of the required functionalities and the functionalities on the MOOC platforms. And finally, perception of the MOOC learning environments and the online communication tools. For this measurement, we'll use a scale that is the Unified Theory of Acceptance and Use of Technology. And then we're actually revising the research question right now because originally we were just gonna measure the acceptance of the students of the tools, but we're thinking it would be a shame to leave all the conversation on the online communication that has taken place to just leave that behind. So of course, to identify just some evidence, some key contributions of students that show some evidence of consciousness, metaconscious. So this we will try I didn't say from previous from the previous what was is what I'm gonna share with you today. So this is comparison of the MOOC platforms. So just answering what you're saying, we don't want to leave that behind because that would be a shame. So we do want to also to the previous slide, Mary. Yeah, so what we doing is we'll evaluate, well, I have evaluated 16 MOOC platforms, and you may be familiar with many of these. From all of these platforms, just two were made for language learning. So in Streamia, which is right in the middle, they started with some courses for Spanish, for Portuguese, but now they are also offering courses in different disciplines. And then the Mixer, which is actually a CMOOC, so a connectivist MOOCs, because most of the learning takes place outside of the platform. But they have a MOOC for Spanish, a MOOC for English, and they have some suggestions, some lessons. But you have to go outside of the platform, like I say, to do readings and to complete work, and then you meet with someone in Skype to do the exchange. But these two are meant for language. The rest, they just have a lot of different disciplines, different courses for different disciplines. And now, Mary, please. Okay, so the comparison of the MOOC platform. But I just decided to include a few for this presentation. But there are others like evaluation, also the role of the instructor and the interaction between student and teacher. So there are many different things that I've looked at, but I will share these ones. So the overall course presentation and visual design, the activities and the tasks, the openness, personalization, and then the technological environment. So for the first one, I'll show you some pictures for the presentation and visual design. It actually struck me how important it was just the visual design of the platform. For me, I was following I just didn't. So this here is a standard platform, basically the first one. You see the video and this in the next icon, you will have a reading, then a quiz. Very standard, I would say, nothing special. Some platforms are very simple, like you say, the layout. Here you have all of the weeks and well, the instructor could have put these, the names of the units, but he or she didn't. But as you see, it's not very appealing just to have a list of 20 weeks, basically. So some platforms are not so attractive, I would say. And this one, again, you know that you will be learning about. So again, um, we think of MOOCs, students are learning independently here. So this is very important, just the visual design, that it's attractive, that it's easy to navigate. Those are things that are important for online courses, especially for MOOCs, which students do sometimes individually in groups, but not necessarily working with an instructor. And in the next slide, I also have, well, more examples. You will see here a combination of text, video, and I found this last one to be just more attractive. As I'm saying, you have the weeks separated, and you also have, well, the different topics have a small picture, a small introduction. So again, for students, at least for me, when I was taking the course, this was important to me to be able to navigate the sites. So just by looking at the layout, there are platforms for me, at least, that I find more attractive and that I'm more willing to use for this project than others. And then, Mary, if you could go back 2 slides, actually, go back to the one more. Yes. So here, for activities and tasks, I'm just going to say a few things. A lot of MOOCs, like I said before, just have a video and then the test. But others have some activities, assignments that are peer-to-peer assignments and or tasks. And but actually, working groups or collaboration between groups is something that is kept to a minimal in MOOCs. And this is because not all of them have a tool to allow this. Then for openness, this is also something that I'm looking at. I want to see if the content of the course remains open, for example, after the course is done, or if you can, the videos also, a lot of the videos are posted to YouTube openly, but you will also see in some platforms that their YouTube videos are not are unlisted, and you will see this when you get to see the video. There is an icon, a window that says that this video is unlisted and you can only see it with a link. So this is also some kind of restriction, I guess, to openness. This is important to check. For personalization, a lot of platforms are working now on, well, for the comment systems that you can filter in many ways. So you can find the comments that you have made, you can find comments of instructors, you can find the most liked, most voted comments. So this is different ways for you to find information that you are looking for. Another way that platforms are using personalization is students' own profiles. So you will see that, just to give one example, there was one platform that is just made many prompts, and they can put, for example, their business idea, they can put different things that relate to the courses and to their lives as professionals. So this is a great way to personalize a platform for you, not just to have a better experience following a course, but also for you to meet other professionals that have maybe some that work in the same path than you. Well, I tried with the arrows and also with my trackpad, but
Still won't work? Because it technically, are you clicking with your cursor? I'm
I'm clicking the arrows and also with my track. So I've used both. I've tried both ways.
No problem. I'll keep clicking. It's just I just feel bad because you're going back and forth. Okay, so where am I? What am I doing now? Forward.
Now I'll go to the technological environment. So this one, yes. I won't need to go back again, so that shouldn't be a problem anymore. But this section I do have slides for. So for the criteria about technological environment, I did want to show you a couple of things. So for this, I'm checking the discussions, the comment systems, and social learning. So how this happens in the platforms. And well, sorry, I just didn't read. Yes, yes, I know. So these I've seen actually some presentations from some of the CEOs of the platforms, and there was also some mesa redondas, how do you say? And I was able to see this online because they were just open, and these are great to see because you see actually what the developers are working on and what is and what most platforms are missing, and this is really interesting, and the personalization was one of the issues that a lot of them brought up, and one platform was working on this. They were trying to do so that students could find, so that it's kind of like a networking also opportunity for students via their personal profile in the platform. So roundtables, yes, of course. Okay, so for the technological environment, you have discussions, comment systems, and social learning. So how is this happening? If you see the first picture, platforms have the discussion tab just as a tab, like you see here. And this becomes very messy because you have, for example, here you can keep just scrolling down and you have numbers and numbers and numbers of entries, and it's just difficult to find things. Even if you have these filtering options, just most liked or most activity or following, you have different filtering options, but still it gets kind of messed up because not all of the students use the prompts. The instructors may write week one, topic one, but a student may just start a new thread with a question instead of using some of these topics, these titles that the instructor has started. So this can be really overwhelming, and that's why, well, I put this picture. For example, the question that the person, the student is asking is, how can I follow my own contributions when I answer someone? So this is something that has to be made very clear to students so that they can actually be active participants of the discussions. Two platforms had actually a very nice layout like you see here. What happens is that the comments are incorporated into every page. So every bit of content has a comment section. So you don't have to go to a separate tab. So what happens is you can also close this comment section and just see the main page, useful expressions. But if you want, you can open it. And then again, it's really easy. You don't have to go to the discussion section and look for the units and look for the week and look for where you have to post. And here you just have all the relevant comments right there. And you can also filter, of course, by everyone's comments, the people you are following, the most liked, and then your own comments. And on the next slide. So to continue with the technological environment, I was also looking for collaboration and group dynamics. And you see that some MOOCs allow for a peer-to-peer assignment option. And this is actually automated, not in all platforms, but for some of them, which can be nice for language learning if you do some pair work. What the platform does is after you submit your assignment, the platform will automatically send your assignment to 3 other students, and you will automatically get the assignments of 3 students. So then you don't have to do this manually, or the instructor. So this is a nice feature that could be used for language learning. For group collaboration, I kind of already mentioned this. This is kept to a minimum right now. Only just a couple of platforms have create new group feature like you see in this example. Now on the next slide, What I'm also checking in the technological environment is if there are tools specifically for language learning and actually for speaking. This is one of the challenges for some of the platforms. So you will see, I put an example here. This platform had an integrated function to record audio and video. There was just one platform that had this, and then one other one had just for audio, but not for video. So with this icon, you can record yourself on the spot, and it's just like placing a comment. So you record yourself and then you upload it, and then it's right there. You don't have to do anything outside of the platform, because what a lot of teachers do, I've also analyzed some, not just language MOOCs, but also other MOOCs. For example, public speaking. There was a MOOC on debates. I went to see all of these MOOCs because I wanted to see, well, if it's a MOOC on debates or on public speaking, maybe they will have some feature, but not necessarily. What they do is they ask students to do this outside of the platform. So students have to record themselves with their phones or however they can, and then they can send the recording to some students from the course, or they can post a link. If they just record using a website or a web 2.0 tool, they can just send the link to students. So again, but having this feature minimize steps for students. This is always interesting because some students will just not do it if they have so many steps, or if they have to do it outside of the platform. And of course, we cannot assume that all students can record video or audio. So this is a nice feature. And a couple other platforms didn't have that feature, but they did have this attached. So you could, like I'm saying, you could just record your own video and then upload it to the platform. And then what also is interesting is that there are some open resources. I just shared one of you here. This is SpeakUps. Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. And that's some of the feedback that you also get from the instructors themselves, that just minimizing steps, of course, it makes it easier for students, and more students will complete the assignment because it's just an integrated function. Can you please go to the previous? Sorry, Mary. Okay, so I was it's actually a project for language learning. So they have three different tools. One of them is Langblog, that is very similar to this record audio video publishing feature. And then they have a tandem feature that where two students have to meet with a Skype, but they will see the task via the platform. And then they have a video chat where 6 people can log in at the same time and have a conversation. So these are also really great sources, open resources that you can integrate in some of the platforms, of course, not in all, but some of them will allow integration of open resources. So this is also really interesting when considering which platform to select. So could you please go to the next slide, Mary? Yeah, so Mary, what you're just saying, this is one of my first conclusions. Well, the conclusion, I will give the conclusions just from this section that I've talked about. So I've analyzed 16 platforms, like I said. So to choose one platform is not easy. Of course, there are different platforms that offer you different features and different tools, and some platforms are more flexible. The learning management systems, for example, Blackboard, that you know, Moodle, or Canvas, these are learning management systems. They will allow the integration of, for example, these open resources that I mentioned, SpeakUps, they will allow for the integration of this. But the problem with LMS, with learning management systems, is that they were not originally designed to be used for MOOCs. They were designed to be a complement of the face-to-face classroom. So what happens, and this is not just something I'm saying, but this has been published, that some of these learning management systems offer a really poor interaction between students and between students and instructors, because that was not the purpose when these were made. But if you think of other platforms that were made specifically to give MOOCs, these are more appealing and more attractive for students, but they may have less features, of course, less features than learning management systems. But the positive thing is that the developers of these private platforms are always developing. And they have blogs. They also have a lot of feedback options, and you will see if you go to the platforms, a lot of people are giving suggestions and they are developing a lot of things. So you can always hope that they will incorporate more tools for specifically for language learning. And of course, the conclusion and the key is that we have to see which tools will serve us best to enhance the particular tasks that we are designing for our particular MOOCs. So it all has to do with which kind of course you want to offer. If you want to offer a course on speaking, on pronunciation, in language, of course, some of these features I mentioned might be more interesting for you. But if you want to offer a course where students will share some intercultural dialogue, and the comments might just be enough. So this is a matter of making a decision and selecting the platform that you think is best. Yes, and this is also something, what you say, Mary, is something that has been said, that these open resources is a big business now. They are saying for developers to just create more features, more tools that can be integrated in different tools, in different platforms, I mean. And well, so this is actually the section of my project that I wanted to share is this. Just the so far the selection of the platforms that we've done. And the next part of the presentation is about well, it's short, but I wanted to share something practical with you. So I will share some opportunities that MOOCs offer for LSP. Yeah, for LSP, for then also for content and language integrated learning, or for culture and language across the curriculum, or for intercultural communication. So I have two posts here that I wanted to share, and this is from an instructor, and actually he's saying here, no, the first module, or sorry, we followed the first module with more than 20 students from a master's program with a big screen and debate. And this other post is saying it's from a student who took an intercultural communication MOOC, and she's saying, I took this online course for an alternate credit assignment for my mass communications class, and I'm so glad that I did. I found the information very important, useful, and thank you for taking the time to put this together. So this is just to give you an idea that some of the content of MOOCs can be used for class for LSP. This is really authentic content that we could use, and also their own MOOC that relates to language, that relates to culture, and they can just choose, okay, I will follow one module and one unit, and they could reflect on those. So it's really, there are many opportunities to use this open content. And on the next slide, I just have a few, the next couple of slides just have some basically screenshots of different courses. So for example, for content and language integrated learning, here in Belgium, this is starting to happen in high school. So not in Spanish, but just in the official languages, so in German and in French, at least in Flanders, and also in English. So if you're a teacher who has taught environmental science all your life in Dutch, and now you have to teach it in French or in English, I think some of these MOOCs could be a great resource for you as a teacher, and also for your students in class. And then on the next slide, so these are some examples of how to use MOOCs and their content for LSP. This is a platform I wanted to share with you, Unimooc. This is a platform from Spain, and it's just for business and entrepreneurship related courses. And you will see here there's a headline from El País that says that 10,000 students from 90 countries in one course for entrepreneurs. So again, this is a great opportunity for students who are taking business Spanish, for example, to follow. They have many different courses. They can have access to real, authentic content. And the way that discussion happens in this platform, because this is affiliated with Google Course Builder, it just happens in a Google page. You may recognize this from a Google page. This is Unimooc, and it's right here. It's right here, Unimooc. Yeah, they work with Google Course Builder. So that's why, but the name of the platform is Unimooc. And you can see that it just happens, well, there's a Google page to have discussions, and you see one of the topics here is Cuenta tu idea, no, tell us your story. So again, these are just MOOCs just for business people and entrepreneurs. So it's very nice. You can see that people are making connections, are following others. So this is really a way to network and meet other professionals, other students, and it's also a great way, of course, for intercultural exchange, because if you have participants of so many different countries, you are making connections, you are exchanging ideas on different on corporate culture from different countries, and also, of course, for vocabulary and for language, for authentic language also. And here the teacher is explaining the variation of SMART, the SMART criteria when you want to delimit your objectives for a business plan. So he's giving a variation of SMART that is marear, ¿no? And he's saying that your goals should be, or tus metas deben ser medibles, measurable, accesibles, accessible. Uy, yeah, sorry. Can you hear me? Okay, sorry. So well, he was well the marear accesibles, and then respect. Um, what was it? Yeah, realistas, and then específicas, specific, acotadas al tiempo, time bound, and reto. They should be challenging. And then on this slide, you have more examples of different MOOCs for, these are content MOOCs and also LSP MOOCs. I have to say that MOOCs for LSP are kept to a minimum. There's not too many for LSP specifically. You will find many for content. But just if you can see here many different titles, some of them for entrepreneurship, writing skills for healthcare providers, um, comparative law, learn French for business, English for doing business in Asia. There's a speaking and a writing one, English legal system. So these are just different types, different MOOCs that you can take. Of course, I've only selected free courses. And a lot of them are self-paced. When you see self-paced, that means that you can just sign up anytime for these courses, and other ones have a start and end dates. And then this one actually was a bilingual course, International Business, Negocios Internacionales. So all the videos were done in both languages. This can also be a great resource for class. And this course is courses that actually tackle interdisciplinary and intercultural topics. And this could also be used for CLAC, so for culture and language across the curriculum initiatives, because if the students take one of these MOOCs, this could be a great content for them to discuss in each session. And why did I choose these courses? Because, for example, advertising and society, this is a course that is going on right now. You can sign up right now. And one of the units was what do ads tell us about gender and class and race? So this is again, all of these courses tackle different intercultural problems, and this is, I think, for any language student, if even if the course is in English, it can have great content that we can use in class for discussion, or that they can use themselves for reflection or for an assignment. Yes, so this one, Exploring Intercultural Communication, that is a course that is given by Udemy, so one of the platforms, and this is self-paced, so you can take it, and you can sign up now and explore the content. An introduction to global health, communicating in German across cultures. This course, Sports and Society, also just to read the introduction, if you read, explores the role of sports around the world and how that is intercultural, to start a discussion with the students and the dialogue. Yeah, so Udemy is one of those sites where a lot of the courses are paid, um, most of them, but they do have a lot of free courses. The ones I posted here are only the free ones. And yes, if you explore one of the courses, their courses are only video based and quizzes, so you won't have any assignments or tasks. Just to let you know, but again, you can access the videos if that's what you want to use in your class. Also, this course, Latino Popular Culture for the Clueless, was also a great course, and some of the topics were so interesting, not just about history or geography, but they spoke about clothing style, they spoke about Latinos in the media, stereotypes with Latinos, gender, power issues. So a lot of the things that we want to raise when we talk about intercultural topics in our classroom, I think these courses offer you. This course just ended, for example, this one in Future Learn. Um, it talked about the books, the images, slogans of 8 different countries. And this course, Understanding Russians, it's not on right now. It will be given in the future. But again, if you teach Russian and this course comes up, I think it's really a great source, and for all your students to follow and just use this content for class. Why not? So this is actually my last slide, and if I have a favorite, yes, do I have? Yeah, I was doubting if I should say it or not because um, well, actually, Future Learn, I just love the courses that I took in Future Learn because the layout is so inviting. It's just really, you want to go back and see what's next. And the first thing that attracted me was the layout, just very appealing, attractive, easy to use, easy to navigate, really organized. Everything was organized on Future Learn, and I love it. But I have to say that, and this was the one that has the comment sections to the side of each unit or each topic or each section, not just as a separate tab. So that was also a great thing. But regarding those individual features that I was mentioning, Future Learn is not yeah, learning management systems like Moodle or Blackboard. So you cannot integrate these open resources, which I think are also great. So right now I feel I'm kind of the middle. I actually like Future Learn and also Open Learning, which is really also a great platform. So Future Learn, Open Learning, and then Canvas. It's a learning management system, so it's really flexible. You can include, for example, these open resources that I mentioned. They will allow you. The good thing with Canvas is that it's not like Moodle or Blackboard, that they are an LMS with too many functionalities that can get really confusing for students. But Canvas actually created a separate platform just for MOOCs. So I think, and they are also really flexible, and you can include a lot of these open sources. So Canvas is, and you will have a lot of the features for language learning in Canvas that you won't have in Open Learning and Future Learn. But Open Learning and Future Learn are some of those, yeah, actually a coincidence, but both of them are really working a lot on their platform. So they both have blogs. They are really active in social media. They are always taking comments from instructors, from course users. And Open Learning already has a group, a create a group feature, and Future Learn is going to add this as well. So you see that they are working on additions. But for example, this rich media editor that I showed, that only one platform had, that was Canvas. Canvas had this. That was for, at least for language learning, can be really useful if you are teaching something related to pronunciation and speaking. And before we continue the conversation, just to finish, I will say that MOOCs are a recent trend, but I've tried to explain to you that they share many opportunities related to language content and the intercultural dimension. And regarding my research project, well, of course, I look forward to continuing, and I'm excited to see the results, and also knowing what the students' perceptions will be of the learning platform and the tasks that we will be designing. Um, and also, I will look forward to find out if we can identify some evidence of intercultural reflection and consciousness. So those are the conclusions. And then if you have any other comments, yeah, so Rita, yeah, she didn't, she got the time mixed up. But if you have any comments, well, suggest questions or critique about the project. This second part, like I said, wasn't part of my project. I just wanted to share those great courses with you that you can explore yourself and use in your classes, or just have your students do an activity or an assignment where they have to explore a MOOC module. Um,
Yeah, if anyone has questions, please type in the box, or you can let me know and I can hand the microphone. But thank you, Carolina. That was very interesting.
thank Yes, of course. Well, like what you're saying, when you teach MOOCs, you have these sometimes not massive enrollments, and then a lot of times you to be present to comment on some of the discussion forums. It's a different kind of interaction, of course. A lot of the automatically, and this cannot happen otherwise if you really have thousands of students. But I see, at least in the MOOCs that I've explored, I see doctors do is they are present in the comment system, not in the testing or in any of the assessments. If they are peer, but what they does is more just participating in the forum, answering some threads, and that's what actually their role is. And of course, they have all the numbers. They can track all of the logins and all of the time that the students spend in different activities. They can track a lot of things as well, so they can really call what's missing, no, or what can improve for the class. Yeah, the online courses, I really try to make a selection of courses that could be used for LSP or CLIC CLIL or any of our classes, language classes, but a lot of them, there are a lot of courses, and this is a new tendency as well. A lot of courses are related to culture and intercultural courses, interdisciplinary. It's also nice to see professors from different disciplines. For example, there's courses that are given from an art professor and a communications professor. So these are also a nice way to collaborate with different professors. And yes, and what you see, what you're saying, I also had this in one of the courses that I followed in Future Learn. It was a course for English. And yes, at the end of each week, you had the instructor made a video, and he said different things. Just he referred to the comments that had been made that week. He actually quoted some of the best comments that had been made during the week, and he raised some of the main problems or the main doubts of the students regarding to language, and he also said something about this. So you could see that the instructor, of course, he has collaborators, but still you could see that the instructor was actually present that way, and that he made a summary, and this was great to see. Also, the instructor was actually reading and getting to know the feedback that the students were giving. So yes, and he also at the end of the video for the summary of the week, he made suggestions on different links or things that the students could continue to read or just to continue to explore. Yeah, in the discussion board, you cannot help that. Like I said, sometimes it can get very messy. I think a lot of instructors don't put enough titles. I think this is just a matter of really prior to the beginning of the course putting all types of titles that you can imagine, even just one title for technical problems, one for week one, subunit one, and then put the title so that really everything is broken up and the students have a place to put their comments. Because what happens is that a lot of times they just put week one, week two, and then the students are not sure where they have to comment. Sometimes they have specific questions, or they have a complaint, or they want to ask something about their particular test, and they just start new threads, and then it just gets very messy. Also for submissions, I've noticed a lot of uh, a lot of the topics were not listed for submissions, and they were just making a new thread just to say week one assignments, and then there were too many entries. The
Anybody?
titles for this.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue, Catalina. Sorry.
No. I was just gonna say, when you say the titles, I don't know if you mean the titles of the course, because I also noticed this, but that's for language. There are some courses that are just called Spanish A2, for example, for level A2, no? What is here? So Spanish, or one of them was English 1 or something like this. So they need to also be more specific about the title, and this will also make, I think, the enrollments not so massive if you are really specific about what your course will be about, and also that the objectives are clear. And a lot of the platforms will allow you to download the videos, which is a great thing too. They have just directly there an icon for you to download, and also download the transcripts. Not all of them have subtitles in the video itself, but you will be able to download the transcripts.
Catalina, you see on Annie's question?
I'm reading it right now. Presume. Well, yeah, of course it could be. That's why, well, selecting the platform, of course, like I was saying before, the technical issues should be kept to a minimum. There are platforms that have too many, like the LMS, the learning management systems have too many features that you don't need actually. So this confuses students. The best platforms that I've seen actually are really simple. They just have a couple of tabs and that's all. And I think for beginners courses, um, they also what they do is they have an introduction video, which is not necessarily in the language, or they do both. For example, there was an introduction course in Dutch that was given recently for Dutch for beginners. You will see that this course combined English and Dutch. So that was the approach of the prof. A lot of the videos that he presented when he spoke, when he explained things, he did it in English, and he showed some examples. So he was really dialogues between people, but and these had subtitles. So it was a combination. He was using English and Dutch, but everything in the platform is not in the language. So the tabs, the discussions, everything that actually is written, well, the main tabs that are part of the platform, these are in English. Of course, you can put your own units in the language that you teach, but the language of the platform is English. And for the comments that students were making, these were in both languages, I should say. Some students were trying to make really short comments in Dutch, the Dutch that they were learning from the course, and others just made their comments in English, or some of them combined. So like saying like a Spanglish, they did a Dutch English combination when they were posting. And yes, I think I really love this comparison and this analysis because, yeah, of course, it taught me a lot as a teacher. So really, yeah, if you follow many different courses, you see kind of what you don't want to do, and then you see other courses that you think. I actually definitely can say that there were a couple of courses that inspired me. Definitely, that I said, oh, I want to do this also with my students, or oh, this is an approach that I would definitely also adapt or for my classes. Yes, he had Fernando Rubio, he had a MOOC on pronunciation. So that's something that really interested me because I was really curious to know what he did for this, because it was just a MOOC for to improving your Spanish pronunciation was the name of the MOOC. But he had a couple of publications actually about this MOOC. Unfortunately, it has only been given once in 2013. Hope that he would give it again to take it, how he does it. But I contacted him personally. I should say I emailed him. It's nice to email me back. And all of the did the recording Audacity. So they didn't use the platform like the things that I was explaining before, because I feel that minimizing these steps will have more students participate in the assignment. But he didn't use an integrated feature of the platform. Some students did recordings using Audacity. So of course this is an option, and a lot of teachers do this. They have you record your own voice or outside of the platform using or even they post to YouTube. Some students do it, others don't. They say, oh, I will drop them, I don't want to post myself to YouTube, and some of them will do it. Some of them will find an alternative. And yeah, so teachers do it. They ask the students to use other features outside. But again, if the platform has it, I just feel that at least for a pronunciation course or for a public speaking course, for a language course where the approach is mostly speaking, I think it's nice if the platform offers it. What a lot of platforms are doing right now, and well, a couple of the CEOs said that they were making more money than they expected, is that the course is free, the content is free, but the certificate of participation is not. So if you think that some of the courses have thousands, I mean, you have such a high enrollment and thousands of students, and you start realizing, oh, so many students actually do want a certificate. This is where the money is coming from. And of course, like I'm saying, there are a couple of sites such as Udemy and Eliademy. A lot of the courses are paid, but in the major MOOC platforms, the courses are free. But they are making apparently still good money from the certificates. They offer different types. Sometimes it's just a certificate of participation that you participated in the course. Sometimes it has some credits or some badge. Depends on the university and on the course. Yeah, of course, this could be at least from the couple of presenters that I heard, they said they were making more than they thought just from the certificates. Yeah. And some of them were also saying, because some people say how MOOCs will end with universities. Yeah, of course, this is not true. But some of from the point of view of the CEOs, they were saying, no, of course, this won't in the universities. No, of course not. This just, it's a challenge and it's an opportunity. They were saying for universities to bring new ways of learning and to present content in new ways to students.
Okay. Well, and thank you for joining us, Annie, and to everyone else. Anybody else have
Thank you.
any more questions?
I don't know if I answered Bea. Did I answer your question when I was saying about the level? Well, again, depends on what your course is about. I would say to choose a platform there's not that there would be one platform for a beginner's course. Just depends if your course is a general course where you want to have speaking and reading. I'm gonna say that in all platforms, reading is not a problem, or writing, that's not a problem, and it's just speaking. That's the challenge in all platforms. But if you want to have a course that has a lot of speaking and you want it to be integrated, basically your choice comes down to the learning management systems, like I was saying, either Canvas, Blackboard, Moodle. And from those, I would choose Canvas because, like I said, the other two are made for just to support. They are more made to support face-to-face instruction, but Canvas has implemented a different platform just for MOOCs. And they do have a lot of integrated options, and they will also allow you to integrate open resources such as speak apps. So that can be an interesting platform. If you think of open learning or future learn, they have a better layout, a design that is more inviting for students taking a course independently. Bye, Anne. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for joining us and for your feedback and your questions. But so I was saying open learning, future learn are more appealing, attractive for students taking a course independently. But on the other hand, they are better for comments and also for groups. You can form groups, but for speaking, you won't have in future learn, open learning or edX or many of the others, you won't have an integrated feature. So if speaking is really interesting, I mean really important to you, basically the learning management systems, for example, Canvas, that you could use. Okay. Yes, we're gonna work on something like that. So maybe to work on some coding, uh, having the criteria that we use, and then some coding or something to, yeah, for the evaluation of the platforms. Yes, thank you. Gracias, Beatriz.
All right. I did. Thank you so much, Carolina. I think we all learned a lot from this. Um,
And thank you for all the people that showed up and invested some time.
yeah, and I wanted to find out from John. He's been really quiet, and where John's coming from and what he teaches. Yeah,
Thank you, Linda. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
yeah, because I've sat in on MOOCs before when they were first starting, but I just hadn't thought about all these technicalities. Now that there's so many out there to compare, like there's just so many different things to assess now with all the different ones and different styles. So it'll be very interesting to see your results. Do you have a time frame when you think the research, maybe another year?
I think at least 1 year, 2 years. I think,
Okay.
yeah, max, or a year and a half, two. Hopefully, no more than two.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, we've been on for an hour. I think we'll. Oh wait, Bea, were you gonna say something else? Oh, and Rita, sorry about the time confusion, but we're glad you joined us at least at the end.
Yes, thank you, Rita. We were thinking the time difference, but I found out a couple weeks ago. So
Okay. Well. Oh wow. Okay. So you really had to calculate the time. Oh gosh.
oh wow,
Are
oh
you
Rita.
Are you celebrating your completion of your research for vacation? Oh, awesome. Good for you.
That's so nice from you to join us so early.